Hello and welcome back to Sonny Talk Spurs, and today on the channel I'm going to be doing a video on how amazing and maybe how Vicario is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. But before we get into this one, if you are new to the channel, why don't you leave a like, subscribe to Sonny Talk Spurs and hit that notification bell because it'll let you know when I've gone live. Now, let's get into the video. So those of you who have been fans of the channel for a long while will know my history with Vicario. At first, I was quite a critic of the move. And, you know, I've done a video where I said I weren't sure on it. I wasn't convinced over the summer. And then I did an apology video, first of all, saying that I was wrong already. But I'm now moving my argument on even further and trying to fight the good fight, that Vicario is now one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League as it stands. And, you know, great minds think alike. Barnaby Slater has already done a video on the same topic as well. So go and check out his video after you've sat and watched this lovely video, I hope. And, you know, I had to do this video because I was thinking of doing it after the Nottingham Forest game, you know, a few days after, let the dust settle, because in that game, Vicario showed his credentials yet again, keeping a clean sheet, and the save that he makes with his legs, like, in the second half, is absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe how lucky we are to have a keeper like this priced at only £17 million. And to think, you know, I, for one, was such an advocate for David Raya in the summer and was willing to pay the 40 million as well, you know. I was an advocate for him. I was an advocate for Onana. I was an advocate for Maignan. But we know, you know, his antics that he displayed in goal against Newcastle for AC Milan shows that he would have cost an absolute arm and a leg. I think 70 million probably to get him out of AC Milan in the summer just gone. But, you know, with Onana being 50 million and Raya going to, you know, the Raya situation at Arsenal causing, you know, an absolute in-war between him and Ramsdale, we went for Vicario, which was down a different sort of avenue, you know, an unknown entity from the Italian league, Empoli to be exact. And, you know, I've made my points clear back on my previous video, so go and check that one out if you haven't seen it already. I apologise a number of times about that, and it was mainly more of an apology and a little deep dive, but more as the season goes on and the more goalkeeping displays I'm seeing in the Premier League, I'm starting to realise that Vicario is such a good Premier League calibre keeper and what he offers to Ange Postecoglou's side. And also, first of all, before I get into more his Premier League and what I've seen as a Tottenham fan watching him in almost every game so far this season, I think he should be starting the starting goalkeeper for Italy going forward, because I've seen Donnarumma a lot recently, because I've watched a lot of PSG obviously in the Champions League. I've seen, you know, highlights of him in Ligue 1 for PSG and for Italy, the national team as well. And I'm not sure he's that convincing anymore to be a starting keeper, especially with Vicario hot on his heels. So I feel like he could be displaced at national level and Vicario could jump on that bandwagon. But before we delve into some stats that I've collated and, you know, looked at in my research with for how good I think Vicario is, I want to just talk about how I've seen him play so far this season. And he has just been an absolute whirlwind, an absolute stunning piece of business, and has been implemented into a system that has just been seamless. I mean, in the summer, if you think about it, the situation of stripping Hugo Lloris of the club captaincy and stripping him of his first team shirt and bringing in an unknown keeper from a league which can be criticised a lot, the Italian league, and chucking him into that number one position, you know, was a bold move from the club and from Ange Postecoglou. But they knew what they wanted in a goalkeeper. You know, we saw it with Pep Guardiola and Joe Hart and, well, to start with Claudio Bravo, but that didn't work out. And then they obviously got in Ederson. And, you know, you see how that's worked. And same with Alisson, who, you know, when people talk about the pinnacle of Premier League keepers, you mention Ederson and Alisson first and foremost. And Alisson as well, you know, displaced, you know, Karius, and they paid a lot of money for him. Again, from the Italian league, who didn't look, I don't want to say didn't look as convincing, but, you know, the season before, Liverpool did stick 7, I think, past him in the Champions League aggregate semi-final, I believe. If I've quoted that correctly, let me know if I'm wrong in any way in the comments down below. But you know, seeing what I've seen from Vicario so far, he is a fantastic passer. He dictates the whole of the play, and he's so calm under pressure. There's a few moments that I'm getting used to how we play out from the back, because I was used to Lloris and Dyer and people like that from Conte's era. He is so calm under pressure. A player comes, he is simply sweeping it. He knows when to go long. He knows when to come close. He knows how to play between the lines. He is fantastic at that. He's also a fantastic shot stopper. One of the best in the league already for that. And not just making, you know, the most simplest of saves, but making some outrageous saves to keep us in games. I mean, you just got to look at the Chelsea game. If it wasn't for him, 4-1 could have looked like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-1 probably. But he showed, you know, at the end of the season, goal difference can be really important, and he is going to be vital in that regard. And then just, you know, his leadership as well, and how he's been able to, you know, that new look back four and sort of, you know, really get a committee together of those defenders together and just be like, this is how we're going to line up, this is how we're going to play, and this is what we're going to do. And I just think I'm very proud of him for coming in and doing this sort of thing, because, you know, it weren't easy for him. There was a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he's just gone out and absolutely smashed it for Tottenham Hotspur so far this season. So I couldn't be more happy with this goalkeeper. He is fantastic. So now let's look at some stats, as we usually do in this sort of video. So first of all, on the screen, I've got his Premier League stats. You can see 17 appearances, 5 clean sheets, 10 wins and 4 losses so far. He's made 50 saves. He hasn't saved a penalty yet. I think he's only faced 1 or 2, if I can recall. He's made 5 punches, 14 high claims, 1 catch, 20 sweeper clearances, 88 throwouts, 104 goal kicks. He's conceded 23 goals. He hasn't made 1 error leading to a goal, and he hasn't got any own goals on his sheet. But yeah, you know, some people look at that and think, oh, it's quite generic and all that. But, you know, it's the very important information a bit below that's quite as important as the rest. He makes 596 passes so far this season, and he averages 35.06 per match with 43 long balls already as well this season. So, you know, showing how he's versatile in all the areas of his goalkeeping. And then also I've got his FB Rev stats on screen as well. And you can see, look, his goals against, he's averaging 1.31. I think that's all right, you know, averaging 1 a game. But you got to think, you know, and Postecoglou style of play at the moment, we're still getting used to it. We've been conceding goals, we know that. And we're facing a lot of shots. You know, we're one of the highest, you know, for conceding XG in the league. But it's a new system. We're, you know, new defensively. And we haven't had, you know, 1 game against Manchester City. We literally had 4 fullbacks in the back 4. Ben Davies has come in and actually done really well. And Emerson Royale has been chucked in there as well. And look at his touches. 43.62 per 90. I just think you look at those stats and you just think we have got such a stellar keeper at a young age for a keeper as well, which I think is quite impressive. And even when you look at his similar players that he's been compared to, you see Alisson in there, you know, it is quite good. Even Donnarumma, you know, Kepa maybe not, and Martinez, who's been applauded a lot this season as well. So is he one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League at the moment on current form? Yes indeed. In general, I mean, I don't think Ederson's having the best of seasons. I think he's looked a bit shaky. Alisson, he's usually consistent, but I remember in the Man City game, it was a bit, you know, he had his moments in that game, passing out and stuff like that. Martinez is having a good season. I know I hear enough from Gary Bonhall how well and how amazing he is. But I do think at current form, he is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Not in general, but on form. But that's my opinion. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? All that sort of good stuff. And if you're new to the channel, why don't you leave a like on the video, subscribe to Sonny Talks Spurs, and hit that notification bell because it'll let you know when I've gone live. And I'm looking to post quite a lot of stuff ahead of Christmas, so get involved with the channel. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Christmas football, you gotta love it. So I'll see you guys pretty soon on the next one, and ciao.